And we're back. After a few technical difficulties, we have readjusted, recalibrated, and we are back at you live. The Baker is talking about fatherhood in 2020, a tumultuous and difficult time to be anybody, much less a parent, much less someone who is. I don't want us to get frazzled or bedazzled.
Okay.
We had technical difficulties. We fixed them. We flipped it. We're back. We have guests in the green room now, for real, for real.
Yeah.
And we are going to start talking to them. Nakia, we see you, and we're about to holler at you. Babe, is there anything you wanted to say before we rejoin the conversation?
No. Let's go on with the conversation. Definitely. Let me hold it up.
You never hold it up. You are the conversation, my dear. Hello.
Hey.
Greetings and happy Saturday. What's up?
Hi.
Hello.
My husband Melvin.
Hello, Melvin.
Melvin.
Welcome.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. We've heard so much about you. Your reputation precedes you, sir.
Thank you.
Fatherhood,
wonderful to meet you.
fatherhood in 2020. You have 4, yeah?
Yeah, 4 kids.
Awesome.
Nice.
What's
Blessings.
what's it been like adjusting to how things are this year?
It's
2020's been a trip.
It's been barely rough, but work keeps me occupied. Working
Okay.
family.
Working family.
I'm like, what was it like going through quarantine with the 4 kids and the missus? It's always different for the dads. What was it like for you? How did you hold up? What was your
Well, what
favorite
is it
activity?
like for you? Because it's not over.
Oh, that's true. We're still going. Some of us are still going through.
We still inside the last time I checked.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
everybody is.
Right. Well, I think TV, and good food and good drink
And video games.
video games.
We've been skipping.
I
Yeah.
found my brethren here. I too with the video games, and I get all
Yes.
kinds of slack about it.
He does.
What's your video game of choice?
The God of War.
Okay.
Oh, that's got you
Okay.
through. It's got you
Yeah.
through.
Epic. I'm a 2K / Madden man myself.
Yeah, the Justice League games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now that I don't get to do my commute, so I realized I have a long commute, and I used to hate it, talk terribly about it all the time, like an hour and a half each way.
Yes, he did.
But
Oh,
I
bless
realized
your heart.
Oh wow.
my commute used to be like it was therapy for me. So the trip between work and home, going to work, I could get myself into that frame, get ready for these people I'm about to go deal with, get ready for what I'm about to go do. When I'm done, that it's like the conversion in reverse. Getting ready to go back and be dad and hubby and all that, and shed away all of that guy that I am during the day. Now I don't have that transition period. As soon as I come out of the laundry room, which is where I work
The
from,
laundry office.
as soon as I come out of the laundry room, they're on me. And sometimes
Right.
they're in there with me. I'm trying to be on a conference call. My daughter's in there like, Daddy.
Right.
She took my toy. She's touching me. She's touching me first. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I got like 2 personalities. One for work, and the second one for home. At work, I'm real serious and debonair. At home, I'm a big playful kid.
There you
Which
go.
right now, I'm home mode right now.
I can see the relaxed state on your face. I
Yeah.
too am in home mode.
Yeah.
And when I'm not unclogging toilets, I'm pretty zen with mine. But
See. What was your quarantine job in the house that was new for you with the family? So as a working father and having to be home and not being able to go to work because everybody was put at home, what was your new job in the house during that 3-4 months of time?
Basically, I had to be basically on my boys. Get them to do what they supposed to do. And now that home, really home, then things are getting done the way they're
Right.
supposed to get done in the house.
all right,
There you go.
there you go. That's
Daddy was there to crack the whip a
Dad's
little
voice.
bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dad's voice, man. Talking about that presence and the persona and the importance of the father outside of just the guy who eats the big piece of chicken. So
Yes.
We're saving the big
2.
the two
Two.
big pieces of chicken.
Two.
There you go.
I'd say during quarantine, I've been like a substitute teacher slash janitor slash the guy who unclosed the toilet, which I guess is the janitor.
Yes, he's the janitor, and he's also learned to do
some light cooking.
Some light cooking, and it's been going fairly well.
Okay.
Well, fairly.
Don't look at me like
good.
that.
That's good.
It's not a It's not a big deal for most people, but people who know me know, and how my mother raised me. My mother just did everything for me and didn't make me have to cook. So that was one of those dudes.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible cook.
I found my spirit animal. I found a second soulmate over here.
Our first time cooking.
Unite.
Yeah, first time cooking dinner for me. He made me TV dinner.
No.
Oh man,
they're quick and they're eatable.
That's all you need. So are Hot Pockets. Man, I think before I met her, I used to live on Hot Pockets and ramen noodles by choice. By choice. I sauteed my Hot Pockets, put a little extra seasoning on them.
Yeah, that ramen noodles and Gatorade and Sour Patch Kids. He was a giant teenager.
So let me ask you, father to father, what's been the most difficult aspect of being a father in general, and then in 2020 in particular?
I think the difficult part of being a parent is just the everyday life expectancy, having to deal with everyday problems. Who needs this? Who needs that? Who's hungry? Teenage boys, what are they going to do with their feelings? And just having to be the bearer of, I guess you could say, having to be God in the house, pretty much. Make sure everybody is straight. And then having to make sure and be her backbone, her support, so she can be straight to get them straight.
I like that. I like that. Talk to me about the boys, because I have teenage boys as well. And when you look at all these things going on between people and the cops and all this, what do you tell your boys? What do you advise your boys? How do you keep them centered and?
Yeah, just basically, I keep them educated. I think educated and the way you handle things is a big difference on how overall everything will turn out. For instance, me as a black man, I was going to the store one night, across the street, going to the store, minding my own business. Cop took it upon himself to stop me. What do you want? I said, just want to check you, make sure you don't have any drugs or money on you. I said, what are you talking about? I live
money on me?
Street.
Wait a
minute. So,
aren't I supposed to have money on me?
Exactly. I use credit cards. I learned a long time ago. I use credit cards. I do not carry big loads of cash on me because I got robbed one night by 6 guys. This is when my first teenage job coming out of high school. And I forgot. I went to the corner store. Short story. I went to the corner store and all my bling, gold necklaces, new Jordans. Right. I forgot that I lived in the hood. I usually put on my black hoodie and take all my stuff off, but I just walked to the store with all my bling on, and I said, "Oh hell, I don't mess up."
They got you out there, but look how you can laugh about that though. See? Dudes that grew up in certain circumstances like us is like things that other people don't find funny. Like we laugh. Like, they caught me out there. They caught me out there. They ain't gonna catch me next time. But
but back to the story. Yeah, basically, I mean, I think it's a big difference of how you handle the situation than blowing up. Keep your cool, keep your demeanor, and just stay calm and collective. And you can get out. I got out of many prejudice situations doing that.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds similar to something my father used to tell me. He said, like, the cooler head always prevails. But to your point, you mentioned earlier that the emotions of the my wife just put herself in the green room. Okay.
I don't know what I did.
She's trying to do something. Then let her do her job. Mama trying to work it out.
Thinking about teenagers and their emotions, men and their emotions. Recognizing that we have emotions, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, this man just pointed out a survival situation where we got to keep it all bottled.
Yeah.
Don't respond. Someone's doing something to you that would, any normal person, You're disrespecting me. You're threatening my life. I'm gonna act scared. Like the cops are acting scared, but we're
Right.
supposed to be. We have to calm the police down. How do
Right.
you talk to your boys about their emotions and it's okay to feel them? And what space is it safe to let it out and vent? Like how do you balance it? I keep too much inside. I know that,
Right.
and that's part of that training that we've had. Your
Right.
job is to not blow up. Your job is to stay calm, stay alive, right?
Right. Right. I mean,
How do you talk to your boys about their emotions and
just
how to deal
I
with them?
give them like I give them a lot of my examples from growing up, and just to stay calm, collected. Because if for one example, I told this to my boys, I was I think 19 years old. I got stopped by the police. Um, just walking down the street. Again, another story. This is not the same one as the other one, but they stopped me and they said, "Oh, you look suspicious. Do you live around here?" And I said, "Yeah, I
Oh,
live
Alexa's
around here."
story. My bad. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Sorry about
My
that.
dog does the same thing. Don't worry about it. Got to play it off.
yeah. So yeah, I said, yeah, I live around here, and he basically he pulled me to the side and he said, if you had acted hostile or irate, then I would have took you into custody. But since you talked to me
Mm,
like a person and you kept your cool, I'm gonna let you go on about your way. And
wow.
that was it. It was it.
Wow.
You got to get them to stop seeing you as, how can I put it? I'm just gonna be blunt, as a nigga, and see you as a person. You got to get that conversational vibe to see you as a
Yeah.
person. Once they see you as a person and not that nigga, then they're gonna talk to you back as a person. And that's what I try to
Mm,
install into my boys, because they have a lot of hard headed friends growing up
Yep.
and single mothers who don't really talk to their boys about how to be calm and how to talk to
mm,
people, because it's all how you persuade a person. You can persuade yourself. I say when you're in the street, you got to sell yourself, just like
oh yeah.
you like your last dollar, and you
Mm,
might come
mm,
down to it. Just like the police want to harass you, you got to sell
right.
yourself, get them to see you as a person, other than how they were raised and thought up, their upbringing to see black
Right.
people.
True.
And
Excellent.
so
That
they get in
mentality
their
of
head. Yeah, you
the
got to get
hustler's
into their head.
mentality is not just about what people think it's about. It's a matter
Right.
of survival. And speaking of hustlers, we have another guest on the line. We're gonna bring Herb on. This man has published books. The man has published books. He's a speaker, author, a life coach, and
And
I
a
think a self-proclaimed
and,
hustler from
and
day
a
one,
counselor.
and a counselor.
Yes.
Herb, welcome to the program.
Welcome.
How are
Welcome.
you, sir? We're
Welcome.
talking
Hello.
Peace,
about
It's
peace.
good
Am
to
I
see
in
you.
here? I'm in.
Yes, you are.
you are
Yes,
in
you
here.
are. You are
Oh,
in.
okay.
Oh no, not
Peace,
that.
peace, peace. How's everybody?
Hey, doing
Fine.
good.
Hello,
Y'all,
hello,
Everybody's
y'all
doing
hello.
can
all
hear
right.
me,
We were
right?
just
Yep.
checking to see.
Yep. Yep.
We
We
can
hear
hear
you loud
you.
and
All
clear.
We
I
can
think
hear
we was just
right.
talking about something that might be right up your alley. We were talking
Hey,
about
yeah, yeah,
raising
yeah,
teenage
yeah.
boys and teaching them how to manage their emotions,
Yeah.
especially in
I
hostile situations.
I hopped on here at the right time, man. My son hit me up, said, "Dad, I'm gonna stay behind at work and just hang out with my people for a little bit." And I said, "All right." He's a 17-year-old young man. I said, "Okay," and I gave him a set of instructions. I said, "Hey, the license, registration, and insurance go right in the center, right, right where you can reach it.
you.
Mm,
And if you get stopped, I want all the lights on in the car.
mm,
And
Okay.
the reason why I say this is to decrease the chances of the police doing what the fuck they want to do. I came in
mm,
at the tail end. I'm not sure if I understood totally what the young man was saying, what my brother over here was saying, but it sound like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. It sound like we were trying to be safe, and I'm all about being safe. You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. And the reason why I'm talking in the slow tone, because I'm thinking at the same time. I
It's a
usually
Saturday
do,
night.
It's
You
a
could talk as
Saturday night. Yeah.
slow as you want, my friend.
yeah, yeah. Now I'm just thinking at the same time because I love the shit out of my people. First of all, let me tell y'all that for the disclaimer. And if I do disagree, I want to respectfully disagree. You know what I mean? With any of what my people say. And I always say I never want to consciously come at nobody, especially somebody that look like me. So now, here's what I want to say. Um, I don't. The police
So the
started.
question,
What's up? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. The question. Go
I
ahead.
said
Tell me the question before I
the
start
question
running
was,
off at my mouth.
how
Go
do,
ahead.
right. So the question was, how do you tell your children to deal with the police if being
And I
stopped and dealing with
and I
that? But I
think I
believe
think
you
Herb
addressed some
had
of
some
them.
very good points right there.
Right.
See, so the catch-22 for us is sometimes no matter how non-threatening we are, no matter
Mm-hmm.
how diligent we are about being clear that we are not a threat, we are perceived as a threat.
I,
Yeah.
And
I
that
yeah.
antagonism that we get, somehow part of our job is not to reflect it back, right?
Right.
Bottle up those emotions. Now I'm glad you came on because as we was kind of starting to hint at, bottling up one's emotion is not the healthiest thing. It's not the healthiest thing for a human being.
Yeah.
So in dealing with young black men who may one day be fathers, teaching them how to deal with their emotions is important and it's tough.
hmm
So,
The
Herb,
high
speak.
the high
What
level
advice would you give to? What advice do you give to young men in that sense?
in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Yeah.
particular sense. I mean, all right, break it all the way down. Let's tell me exactly what your question was because I don't want to run off on the deep
How
end.
do the both of
I'm known
you
to do shit
tell
like
your
that.
sons? How do
My
you?
wife is gonna
How do
translate for
both
me.
of you tell your sons how to deal with their emotions as black men to not hold it in, or how do you tell them to deal with their emotions so they don't erupt?
Oh, let
How
it
do?
out, but
All
don't
right.
let it
Yeah.
out at this
How do
time
you
or
deal
that
with
time.
that?
Like,
How both of you deal with that?
talk
Uh
about that.
all right. So from day one, I can't learn something and not teach my child. Emotional
Mm,
regulation is a skill that has to be, especially on our behalf, has to be acquired because white folk can do whatever. Tomorrow's episode is about, and I'll tell you guys. Yeah, I see white folk can act how they want to act and be how they want to be, and increase the chances of them surviving a pullover, talking to, whatever the hell. You know what I mean? A public encounter with anybody, including the authorities. Right. The thing is, the second we step out our home, we're at risk. We don't have a large percentage of our people with high blood pressure for nothing. It ain't just
mm,
because the salt. It ain't just because the seasoning. And we know how to
mm,
season and flavor our goddamn food for
Mhm.
just a disclaimer, right? The
mm,
thing is that we have high blood pressure. We have these psychophysiological disorders because we are constantly under pressure. We
Mhm.
constantly under pressure, bro. You gotta
mm,
understand. It's no to give my son instructions like this hurts the shit out of me. It
mm,
it does. It tears me apart because now I gotta pull. I gotta stop what I'm doing as an adult and as a man, as someone trying to move forward to give my son instructions that my white counterpart don't have to do.
don't have
He
to
can
do.
continue his
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
He can
yeah.
go about his business and say, "Hey, little Johnny." I mean, well, I'm not to say whatever his name is. I mean, a white man. I don't know,
Whatever it
Mustafa.
is.
That ain't gonna be no white man. But anyway,
You could
um,
anything possible. Anything
yeah,
possible.
anything. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know what? Keep hope alive. You
Yeah.
keep hope
Yeah.
alive.
Right,
All right,
right,
all right.
right.
I like that. Yeah, optimistic. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Um, but I'll be damned if they gonna name him that because they ain't gonna put that on the application. That shit get shut down
I
ASAP.
know some
Mm,
bloggers, and her children are all named after Black Egyptians.
mm,
From her daughter's name Nefertiti, and so on. and they're blonde, blue-eyed babies.
Mm. I want to speak on something that Herb just said because it
What's
reminded me
up?
of something my father used to say to me. He said, Junior, a white man has a freedom that we will never have. And here's what that freedom looks like. The way that he wakes up in the morning and speaks to his wife and child is the same way when he opens his front door, he speaks to the people he sees outside, the person that the bus driver, same way he talks to the cops, same way he talks to his boss, same way he talks to everybody. As soon as you walk out the front door, those dudes who are hanging out there, you have to speak a certain way to get past them. Then,
Right.
in order to get access to the bus or wherever you got to talk a certain way to get there. Then, to get access to a job, you have to talk a certain way to get into there. You have to speak many different languages and be able to flip yourself into many different forms to
Right.
just live your day. And that's the freedom that you will never have to just be you and have that be one thing.
Mhm.
That's the sad part.
Melvin, what do you think about that? I see some heads nodding. That's something
Is
my dad used to drop on me,
it's
man.
you speaking it, you preaching to the Bible.
Mm,
I go through it every day. Every day, I'm going through it right now. Even being as a managerial mechanic at my job, I'm
okay.
still having to. How can I put it? Bite my tongue to
Mm,
keep my position because if I
Mm.
speak my mind, then I'm out of there.
No.
So I gotta,
Can
and then, like I'm getting to a point at my age where I'm just starting to. I guess you could say I don't give a fuck.
you want to
I
be
don't
yourself.
want to kiss
I
ass
feel
no
like
more. I'm
I
just
am. I feel like I'm
at a
getting to that
point in my
same
life
place
I
now.
don't want to kiss ass no more. I want to be the man in charge. I'm doing everything. Why do I have to listen to you when you don't even know how to do your job properly? And I'm doing your job.
Mm, mm.
can I
Speak.
speak to that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hoping you
All
would.
right, brother. First of all, I would like to tell you that I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I would like to compliment what you stated. When we speak of tone, right? It only applies to us. Tone of voice only applies to us. If you think about it, um, there are a plethora of different tones that white folks speak in. We're not
Mhm.
privy to
Mm,
because a high pitch, low pitch, whatever pitch we have, it could be perceived as threatening. Actually, no tone at all could be perceived as the most threatening.
mm-hmm.
So,
Walking away, walking
what are
back to
you
my
doing?
car.
Those is yeah. What's that, brother?
I said, walking back to my car. Dude getting shot in the back 7 times. Walking away. No
Mhm.
tone
Yeah.
whatsoever. I didn't mean to interrupt, but continue.
No, no, no. You didn't interrupt at all. I'm listening, bro, and I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly, man. I'm just sitting in here in my feelings because this
Mhm.
shit is real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know some people who have a very deep voice. We have a friend, he has a very deep voice. But when he goes to work, he has to speak in a high pitch, high tone voice to not appear threatening in his corporate job. And that's not right. But he's done made it his second voice almost.
Mm,
And it's like you have to be a chameleon. You can't be your true authentic self. But then they tell you you come to work, and if you're not socializing enough with them, or telling enough of your personal business, then you're antisocial. And that's not right. And it's like, why do I have to share my personal life with you for you to feel that I'm doing my job properly? That's another
Right.
situation. I know people who are going through that, and I too have went through that working at the hospital. And it's like, oh well, Ivy's not very friendly because she's not
mm.
telling us about her home life. I don't want to share my home life with you people. I don't know you, and I
Yeah.
don't choose to share it. But because I've not done that, then I become antisocial, and now I'm a problem.
Mm,
Um, and now I'm something to be threatened. I was when I moved to New York. When we first got together, I was working in Long Island, and this broke my heart. I was working a job at a hospital, one of the well-paying jobs, but the lady said, "Look, I'm going to hire you on. We have Caucasian people on the floor and West Indian people on the floor. We are going to hire you, but we don't want you to become a clique with anyone. And if you talk
Mm.
too much to anyone, we will have to let you go."
mm,
I said, okay, I don't have a problem with that. I'll talk to everyone. I came on. Now, mind you, when you're a nurse, you have to be trained 101 to introduce to the floor. So the first lady they put me with was the West Indian lady. And we talked, we walked around all day. She showed me everything, but everyone else was very standoffish. And I'm like, okay, well, just try to interject myself. The second day I didn't have to work, I didn't come in. I got into a car accident, told him I couldn't come in. She said on the third day, she decided, I have to let you go. I said, why? I showed the proof of my police report that I got into a car accident. She said, no, no, I believe you didn't come in because you did not want to talk to the other women on the floor and you only wanted to talk to the black woman. And I was let go from that position, and I was heartbroken because it paid really good money.
Oh, wow.
So I was crushed about that. But the fact that I didn't come in the next day because I had an incident was not acceptable. It had to be because I had a race issue, although I didn't. The people on the floor obviously had a race issue, and then it was pushed outwardly to everyone else, and that was wrong. And it's like this is the thing that goes on in workplaces, whether male or female, father or mother. It's like we have to remind ourselves that we are black when we walk into a building or when we're driving.
Mhm.
It's
At what
ridiculous.
point does an employer, so this is a business transaction. I'm doing work for you, you paying me X salary. At what point does an employer overstep their bounds on trying to dictate who you are or who you should be? I'm gonna put that out to Herb first. Herb, what are your thoughts on it?
At what point would you would like you say? At what point?
Does a employer
I,
When
have
I'm
when
to
it,
not.
when it,
That's
when it,
that's an
an
umbrella.
employer is trying to say, so in Ivy's case, they didn't want her talking to certain people. In Melvin's case, he was talking about how he has to communicate or be at risk of losing his job if he speaks his mind. At what point does an employer go too far in trying to regulate you and mind control you on the job, you think? And where should people draw that line? Because I know one of the things that you're big
Uh,
on and you speak about is being self-employed, being an entrepreneur. So people who are in employment settings and have an employer doing this, I mean, this would be a perfect plug for why you should go into business for yourself. But when does an employer take it too far, you think?
um, sometimes they take it too far at hello,
Mm.
and I will elaborate on that in a second. I want to say truthfully, what's your name, brother? I'm sorry, the other brother name, what's
Oh,
Melvin.
Melvin.
brother,
Melvin?
Melvin.
the mechanic brother,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Melvin.
brother Melvin. All right, freedom is when I I own a car lot, right? I don't, but I don't. For the disclaimer, I do not own a car lot. But freedom is
Metaphorically
when
speaking.
you get into whatever you get into, right? And I own a car lot, and you tell that white man fuck you and call up Herb and say, yo, Herb, you need a manager? Fucking right. All right, come through. That's freedom. When we can make those particular connections, and until that, because I hate to, well, I don't hate to tell you, but I wanted to tell you you're an entrepreneur now. The reason being is because what they're doing is they're contracting you. They're actually paying you for your talent. They're not paying you for nothing. They're paying you for your talent, so they're contracting you, which means that you do have a leg to stand on. You
Mm.
understand? You are worth what you're worth. And I try to tell people that all the time. We're all entrepreneurs. We choose not to defend ourselves as entrepreneurs periodically because we feel like our back is against the wall. But I tell you what, I can't be hired over you, brother. And I know 1,000, probably damn near 1,000,000 people that can't be hired over you. Meaning that you have a unique talent, meaning that there is not a lot of you out there, so your worth is what it is. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You got some say so in the deal, and hey man, I might run my mouth too much when I'm at the workplace. I'm serious. I'll tell you fuck you in a second, like for real. You know what I mean? And
I've done it. Yeah.
I have no problem. It's like, all right, well look, I'm doing XYZ. Fuck you. Like, no, I'm doing this. You know, I don't have no problem helping. And it's not like I'm a rude guy. I'm not. I'm not a rude person. And I love everybody. You know what I mean? I love everybody. And I'm willing to help, you know, give a helping hand or whatever, but you're not going to inconvenience me because you know you want to do X, Y. That doesn't work in my world. So I pick my lanes, I choose my battles. So to go back to the question on how I would what advice I would give, you know, is to it's to network. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Network um with people who are authentically serious about breaking this fucking cycle because it is a cycle. These clowns out here, they're gonna use the shit out of you. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You understand? And you expendable. At the end of the day, you
mm, mm,
expendable.
mm.
So you'll be done built their company and then get fired because somebody come in, you know, that's either somebody's nephew or somebody that's willing to work for $1 less.
Yep.
So therefore, if
Mm.
it's, I mean, because basically what it is fuck you, right?
You say
So
that a
all
lot.
you got to do is just pucker your lips and say fuck you too.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
get
it is what it is.
I
Hey,
think
I mean,
man.
like I believe a lot more black people need to be more independent and build their own companies up. That way, we don't gotta be put through the bullshit of the white man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, back to her question, your question when you was talking about you about people asking your personal business at home. Now I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you what I done learned through my life expectancy of working these jobs with the white man. I write me out a script. I go to work and I play a character. And like
Mm,
your husband said, I lower my voice tone and I write down this script because you right. They want to know about your personal life, which is none of their goddamn business. So what I
Mhm.
do, I make a script of fake shit, whole script,
mm,
and I
Uh,
let that say, oh yeah, my yeah. Since I talk, I go to work. Oh yeah, my son, yeah, that scholarship at college. Yeah, me and my wife, we went to
Jamaica.
Albuquerque for the summer. And I ain't know who the what the fuck Albuquerque is, but I'm making this shit up so they can give me
Right,
the
right.
fucking know. This to seem
Just
social.
leave me alone, right? I'm gonna
You
feed
make
you
up a
whatever you want, right?
yeah, because they
you're
fucking nosy and they
you're
it's like they
inventing
don't want
a
they don't
persona,
care
giving
about
them
you as an
something.
individual, or what you really going through in life.
Yeah.
So I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a bunch of fake shit up.
Mm.
When you ask me my business, it's not gonna be real shit. It's gonna be fake,
Give them,
counterfeit.
give them just
Because
enough
you don't
to
want the real me. You want a counterfeit person.
Mhm.
get them just enough so they stop asking questions.
Yep.
I've
Exactly.
since we've known each other,
Mm.
I've had no fewer probably than 5 different jobs.
Yes.
My most recent job is the only one where they know how many children I got. I never divulged that to any other place.
Oh,
Never
really?
felt comfortable. Never felt any of their business. I saw it only as something they could use as a limiting factor against me. Oh, he has 9 kids, so he can't possibly travel for the business meeting. He can't possibly be in line for this promotion. He can't possibly yeah, don't worry. I got kids.
They're taken
They're
care of.
taken care of.
But you know what? Families make that judgment too. So
Mm.
it goes
Yeah.
across universal lines, you know. And that's with our own people with the discrimination against our own self. But that's a whole nother
That's
topic
another show.
altogether.
I
It's
know
a
we
whole
Whole
talked
nother
another
show
about that
day.
last
altogether.
night a little bit.
Yes.
We were.
But
We were.
I definitely believe employers cross the line. Answering his question, when do employers cross the line by telling you what to do? They cross the line as long as you're doing the job that you were hired to do, that you were qualified to do, and as long as you're doing that effectively and properly, and you're getting along with all staff. I
Mhm.
think at that point that ends that cease and desist right there. And the moment that they step across the lines and tell you who you can mingle with on your break hour, who you can talk to on the floor while you're waiting or doing something, that is wrong. You have crossed the line there. There's no reason why I need to talk to anyone to share any of my personal life. I'm here to do a job, and that's what I want to do, and nothing more. I don't bring my work home, and I don't shouldn't be bringing my home to work.
Right.
So to have to share that personal extra information, that it's totally unnecessary. And the fact that we already have to change our personas of who we are, how we talk, our tone of voice. As in, I was on a podcast the other day. Base solution based community the
Shout
other
out and
day,
plug.
and yes, with her, and a young lady was on there, and she's an Aries like myself, and she says, I hope my tone wasn't too harsh. I've always gotten told because the way I talk is so affirmative and so weird that I am talking harshly. I've gotten the same responses. It's why are you talking so aggressively? I'm passionate about what I say, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I shouldn't have to change that for anyone or
I'm
anything.
okay scaring people with my passion these
Mm,
days. That's one thing. As
yeah.
Melvin
I
was,
love that.
but there comes
I
a
love
certain
that shit.
age that you get where you know what,
Actually,
I'm gonna be me. I'm going to be me, and this is just what it is.
Mm,
And you can either deal
act-
with it, or I can go work somewhere else.
right.
yeah,
You
Um,
said,
because
Nakia?
I
go ahead, Nakia.
my first job was weird because I worked at McDonald's. A white lady hired me, and when she hired me, I apologized because I went to the interview, and I'm be honest, I needed to touch up on my palms. I just had my hair pulled back in a on ponytail, and I had gel. And I said, look, I said, I do swimming for school. I'm about to take care of that and everything. Now, I think she was the general manager that actually did the hiring, so I didn't see her that often. And afterwards, after my first paycheck, put it this way, months later, like right before prom, like it was like 6 months later or whatever, and she complained because my hair wasn't done, because what happened was I was supposed to get it done the day before my day off, and the person flaked on me, so I had to pull my hair on a ponytail again. And she pulled me aside and said, "I thought you said you were gonna take care of your hair." Da 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 da. And
Mm.
I ate it, but when I ate it while she was talking, and I said to her very nicely, I said, "I hear exactly what you're saying, but frankly, have had my hair done every day, except for just now because my person that was supposed to do my hair flaked on me." I said, now tomorrow, I'm getting my hair done. I just couldn't help it." And she argued with me, and I just ate it. And
And at that point, you told her like Herb told us,
right,
"Fuck you."
but then
I ain't
the
gonna.
funny thing is, two
Or,
other
or, or
supervisors
she had
that
it
were
coming. She had
there,
it coming.
yeah, but two other supervisors that were there sat there and said, "Do not worry about it, Kia," because and other employees saw what was happening and said, "Kia, I don't know what she's talking about, because this is the first time I've seen your hair. This is the
That's
first time
harassment.
I've seen your hair." And that when they said that, I was like, "Are
That
you
is
kidding
harassment.
me?" That's
Mm.
the they said that, and I was just like, "Wow." And then here goes the messed up thing was, afterwards I went to go to another McDonald's, and she was friends with that McDonald's manager, and basically said, "Don't
Mm.
hire me because I'm not professional." And I,
Mm.
I felt
Hmm.
hurt. I felt hurt, and I said
Yeah.
to her, I said, "Listen," I said, "why didn't I get the job?" She said, X, Y. And I had a tear down my face. And I said, "Let me say
Mm,
something to you." Said, "I'm not knocking your friendship with her, but she doesn't know me, because it's a fact that when I was there, the whole time I was there from this to this. I said, I
mm,
seen her 3 times. I said, the one time I seen her, and I explained what happened. And she said, "Wow." I said, "But I'm going to tell you something. I understand how you feel, but I would not advise you always listening to your friends, because she was wrong. Because if you talk to somebody else, they would have told you different. You just lost a great worker." And I left it like
Wow.
that.
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
You know what? You held your head and you dealt
The
with it
wor-
respectfully, even though you were clearly hurt, and that was
Yeah.
wrong. What
Yeah. Because
happened there was wrong.
I mean,
That's
people lose
bordering on
work like
harassment,
that.
if not actual
Yeah.
harassment. Um,
Absolutely.
uh,
listen,
uh,
And I was
the
doing
work.
them festivals, staying late when I wasn't supposed to, because they kept hiring teenagers that had to leave at 9, but they didn't close at 12.
mm, mm,
And I was the only one working in the drive-through by myself.
mm. Herb, were you gonna make a
The
comment before
word.
we?
Yeah, the word is nepotism.
Mm,
All right, nepotism in here says the practice among those with power or influence or influence of favoring relatives, or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Um, this particular any ism, you know what I mean, whether it be classism, racism, nepotism,
Right.
any ism requires power.
Sexism.
And prior to this subject period, I was talking to the brother about, if he got into something and I own, a car lot, and he can call me and be on the next day.
Yep. Yep.
That's an
Right.
ism. The ism has to be created. You understand? And after a while, as we keep going through this shit and going through this shit and going through this shit, it becomes our problem. You know what I mean? Like, brother, I'm gonna tell you, privy to any information that I have. I'll tell you this right now, and Ivy knows this. You're privy to any information that I have. You're privy to any connection that I have, any type of power that I have to help you. I will exhaust all of it. Right? If you don't
Right.
choose to use it, then it's your fault. That's how I look at it. So
Right.
if Ivy says to me, like, yo, the door's open, come on the podcast and so on and so forth.
I'm
And
sorry.
if I
I'm sorry.
choose
My
not,
kid just come in the house.
oh, I'm sorry, I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. That's
No,
all
no, no.
right.
I just want to. That's what that was. I don't apologize.
All right,
Don't worry. We got
yeah.
dogs barking in the whole nine. Don't worry.
So if I choose to not utilize the power my brother or sister is giving me, then it's my fault. And I go to work and get bashed out every day, and I'm not going to have. Hey, listen, we have to create the ism, man.
Right.
We got to create that ism of our own, because we're less likely to, be struggling and making oodles and noodles the next day. You know what I'm saying? Even though oodles and noodles ain't nothing wrong with that shit, but at the end of the day,
It's a
if you
lifestyle
choose to
choice.
eat it, you choose to eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to create that circle. You know what I mean? We got to create that bond, that tight knit, because I'm gonna tell you straight out, man. They got the same shit, man. Like I said, if Joe Schmo got a nephew, trust and believe, man. You'll get x'd out and he'll get put in ASAP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It
that's
happens.
nepotism. Any any of that shit, man. Any ism requires power, man. And then by us coming together, man, we can create that same power. And truth be told, we won't do them like they do us. You know what I'm saying? We won't
Speak
do
it.
that.
Speak
We
it.
we we won't do them like they do us. And that's what the fear is for. Dude, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? They were scared to let us free because of that. Oh,
Fear of
they may do
retribution.
us like we did them. Nah, we don't even have a heart to do you like that.
Fear of
You
retribution. You
understand?
know,
We're not even built like that.
sometimes
You
people
know what
know
I mean?
they
So
know when their books ain't balanced, but yeah,
Right.
to
yeah,
your point,
yeah,
that's not what flows from us. It's not what flows from us.
yeah.
Never has
It's
been.
not how we do
Uh,
ours. Yeah, that's not
so
how we
listen,
do ours. So
I
yeah,
love this conversation and I love this energy of the conversation. I want to get back to fatherhood for a hot second.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things, so a friend of mine, he just recently had his first child. My little nephew, as I call him, Don's second. Um, so in talking to me and preparing himself for that, there's certain things I'm telling him and I'm telling him and I'm telling him, and there's certain things that's like you're gonna have to. There's some things that's gonna change. I can't describe it to you. I can't even tell you. But when it
Right.
happens, me and you're gonna talk, and you're gonna know, and you're not gonna be able to tell the next dude who's coming in what is the one thing that no one could have prepared you for or told you about being a father that you have now learned on your own. Melvin, I'm gonna start with
you
you.
ask who you asking?
I'm gonna start with Melvin.
Melvin?
Yeah.
Uh, the money.
And the fact that there will never be
How
enough of it.
expensive kids are. I was never prepared for that. I was just used to taking care of me, and that's it. I go buy me some sneakers. That's all I got to worry about. Now I got 4 people to worry about,
He thought I was a problem. When our daughter came in play, and then it kept on going. He was just like, I don't know. The last time I bought myself some sneakers, I said, "Who you telling?"
I
It
know
was.
that's
We
right.
looked at each other like, I think it's been like 2 years. It was like 2 years with like
Kids get
we just
before
did
we
not
get.
buy
Yeah.
nothing.
See that back seat? That's for you. All
Mhm.
Yes.
your needs, all your ambitions, all
Yeah.
your wants, take them back seat.
And then you feel
Exactly.
guilty when you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
you do.
do feel good.
You do.
Well, I'm working through that guilt every day
Yeah.
when I'm in
Yeah.
retail. I'm working through it as I'm swiping.
Yeah.
I'm working through my
Her,
guilt.
what for you? What's that thing that no one could have quite prepared you for, but now you done seen it and heard it
I
and
well, identifying seasons.
mm,
Identifying seasons.
talk to me about that.
There's a season. There's a season for. All right, put it this way. I'll go back to school. Let's go back to Camden County Vocational. I was in landscaping, right? Flower shop was right next door. I loved the garden that they created, right?
Mm,
I got to the point where I would just sit at the garden and ignore school.
mm,
So to make a long story short, I got in trouble for looking at the garden. Someone gave me a tip, and they not only gave me tip, but they gave me the material. They said, "Hey, listen, if I teach you how to create a garden like this in your home, right, and I give you the material to create this, would you go to class?" And I said, "Yeah." So they taught me how to do it. They gave me the material. I took it home. I planted the seeds. I watered, and nothing was coming up. Watered, and nothing was coming up. I even put spring water on that motherfucker. So it came a time where I had to call that person a liar. You
mm,
understand? That taught me how to do it and gave me the material. So I said, fuck y'all. Right? So I went back to cutting class and looking at the garden. Right? And then the man came up to me a little shortly after that and said, listen, you're the liar and you're the asshole. And I'm like, how you say that? He said, well, you watering and watering and watering, right? It's December.
Aha,
I like that.
aha.
I like that.
So
You're a
so
liar.
I say that to say this. If I was taught to identify seasons, I would know when to nurture and when to fall back.
Mm,
You know what I
mm,
mean? And sometimes we prematurely give lessons, and that's worse than not giving a lesson at all. You understand?
okay.
Mhm.
Sometimes we
Right.
prematurely do things, or we do things too late, and we do things out of season. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to see any growth
Excuse.
while we're doing these things out of season. If anything, hey, weeds will come up. You know what I mean? And you'll have to do a lot of cleaning up after that. So to answer your question, man, I think the most important thing for you to know, or for me, I'm not gonna say anybody else. I'm just saying for me to know as a father, and I wish I was taught earlier, is to how to identify seasons and growth, seasons when to have intercourse, unprotected intercourse, seasons on when to say something, when not to say something. It's the time to feed it. I mean, you don't feed the baby a bottle just off the strength. You know what I'm saying? There's times and places for all this shit. So how to identify seasons is very important. It's a very important lesson to learn, especially when you're trying to you know, trying to nurture another human being in another life.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Mm.
hope I
You
answered your
know what?
question.
You know what? You
Good
did.
one.
And on that note, I think that wisdom is gonna close the show for this week.
Mhm.
That was a jewel.
There
You
was-
may drop the mic, and he got his mic there to drop
Drop
too.
the mic.
Yeah.
Check our man Herb about Solution Based Community,
Absolutely.
the podcast, the experience, and
Okay.
see y'all soon.
Yes.
Be
All
good,
right.
be good to each other. Be good to
Bye.
yourself.
Peace.
Be good to
Thank
the
you
fathers.
guys for coming. We
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Always.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.